What's going on YouTube? Good morning. Hopefully y'all got your coffees. Yeah, today's video is going to be on Toolbox Organization. Obviously it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. Some people have a small box, some people just work out of a service cart, some people have a larger box. I work out of both, but kind of the general idea of how I would set up a box for everyday general use would be about the same. For instance, in my service cart, let me grab my key here. So, I mean, right on top you'll see basic sockets, a few extensions, my everyday ratchets that I use, an air tool. So this is kind of pry bars in the back. Normally I would then keep I would put some wrenches here in these drawers, but because I use this mainly as a diagnostic cart and kind of an everyday, just hey, I need to take some apart and test something, this is why I have mine set up the way I do. So I've got multimeter, power probe, soldering kit, a mini torch, some test leads. I then have a whole bunch of different test leads here. All my connectors for my OBD2 and one scanner. My Matco, the Max Me, I did a review on. If you haven't seen that, check that out if you could. I'd appreciate that. Matco spark plug socket set, chemicals, towels, gloves, power probe 3, oil filter wrenches, and a handy grease bearing packer. So that's kind of how I have my service cart set up. Like, again, I mean, I would normally, if I was using this every day and this was my go-to cart, I would put wrenches in one of these drawers, screwdrivers and picks and hooks and stuff in another, pliers and some larger test tools. But because that's just kind of a diagnostic cart, I've decided to have it organized a certain way. On my hutch here, as you can see, I put my screwdrivers up there. I had them in the drawer, but they took up a lot of space, and I had the opportunity when I got the hutch to be able to hang those there, and I really like the way that gets laid out. Top drawer, sockets. I always put my sockets here. Reason being, I use the sockets a lot. So for me, it's just really nice to be able to keep all those on top. Some of the other things I keep in the top, torque wrenches and some specialty tools. Gear puller for the Cummins VP44 pumps, barring tool, Chevy Aveo water pump tool kit, Duramax water pump kit, Dodge axle nut sockets, my other axle nut sockets, some extensions. So I would keep all my sockets up there, mainly so I can stand them up on end, keep everything organized, and I can fit a lot in one drawer. I have a lot of different wrenches, different kinds, so I would go with, like, I have all my metric in one drawer, and I like to keep all my metric and standard separated. So all metric in that drawer, all standard in that drawer. I would then keep my pliers here, hammers, air tools, chisels, cut-off wheel, another air tool, ball joint set, some of the other tool kits I use. I don't use these as much as I use all my air tools, so I keep those a little bit higher, a little bit easier to get to. Then we get into the tools that I don't, use every day. It'd be maybe, once or twice every couple weeks, so, several times a month, but just not every day. So I keep those down there. Again, I use these test leads a lot, so I try to keep those up top. Anything I use a lot, I keep up top so I don't have to constantly bend down. This is also kind of right on top. Use all those every day. Again, another drawer I'm into every day. So I just kind of organized it to just mainly be efficient, because when you're working, that one's empty right now. I moved some stuff into my service cart. Then I got some toolkits in here. And then one really, we'll go over here. Again, kind of up top, uses scrapers almost on a daily basis. Punches, roll pin punches, all that sort of stuff. Use almost every day. This drawer I don't get into every day, but it's all useful stuff. So stuff that I'm into every day, I try to keep on top. That way I'm not bending down. It's just easy. I walk up, I know where it's at, I can get to it. Another reason why I have everything on rails. I keep everything on rails, and or in the cases that it came in. I know sometimes it can take up a lot more room than just laying everything out, but it's organized, it's easy to get to, everything's exactly where I know it's gonna be, and I can tell if something's missing. Another nice thing about having the lockers, no, it's locked, is being able to get all of these boxes and the cases and take them out of the box so it doesn't take up room, so you can really organize the box the way you want to. So that's how I would recommend or suggest maybe that you organize your toolbox. Obviously it's different for everybody else. You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way I've found works for me. Everybody's different, but I think all the mechanics that work professionally kind of have an idea how they want it set up, and I've noticed they're all pretty similar. You know, some people might keep their air tools up in their top drawer with their sockets, but that's because you're using the sockets and the air tool at the same time, so that makes sense too. It's just personal preference and however you want to do it. I'm going to put this video out. I'm also getting a video done on should you buy Snap-on tools, and or should you buy Mac tools, should you buy Cornwell, should you buy Matco. Do you really need the high-end tools? So that video is going to be coming out soon. Look forward to that. Again, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you all again this next week.